My name is Theodore Johnson. I'm more of an impatient person, and I like to eat my food quickly, and I like burgers and sandwiches which I can just stuff in. Especially, I've always been a fan of BLT sandwich. That day happened to be a day off for the surgical clinic I run. I'd spent the late morning at my favorite spot, a diner near the station known for its chicken dishes, having a drink and getting into a good mood. For a finishing touch, I had a chicken and egg sandwich that served as both my breakfast and lunch. My clinic is located in a regional city with a population of just under 100,000. Near the station, there is a decent amount of commercial facilities. In the middle of the shopping street extending from the station, there's the diner, and a few doors down, my clinic. If you go through the shopping street, residential areas flank both sides, and straight ahead leads to a low-lying mountain dotted with farms. My family home is also located on that mountain, and used to produce specialty summer oranges. My parents are both gone. They passed away in their late 80s, so they must have had a fulfilled life. Now that I'm approaching 60, I live alone in the house my parents left behind. I was once married. However, we parted ways after 7 years of marriage. It was a common issue of personality clashes. Ever since, I thought living alone and doing as I like suited me better than married life. Anyway, that day, shortly after I started up the mountain slope where my house was located, feeling good after having had a few drinks and a full belly, I heard a young woman scream, "Eek!" Looking up the slope, I saw summer oranges rolling down. I picked up one with my left hand, stopped the next one with my right foot, and another with my left foot. The fourth one rolled between my legs. For the fifth one, I reflexively tossed the grilled chicken I had brought back for my evening drink, and caught it with my right hand. I went up the slope, holding those oranges, to where the young woman was. Upon reaching, she turned out to be a girl in her early 20s, with short hair, and an innocent look on her face. Ouch, I think I might have sprained my ankle. She was wearing sporty white leggings, and was sitting down, rubbing her ankle. "Here, let me see." I handed her the oranges I was holding, and placed my hand on her ankle. "Ouch, there," she exclaimed. It was a mild sprain for sure. Still, I couldn't just leave her there. So, I gave her a shoulder to lean on and walked her down the slope, and took her to my clinic. I put a patch on her, tightly wrapped her ankle in a bandage, and gave her some first aid. "Come back tomorrow. I'll examine you properly then." It was my day off, and I had a few drinks in me. I'm sure it wasn't anything serious, but I told the girl to come back tomorrow. It's all my mom's fault. When you're talking to others, call her mother, not my mom, ok? "Yes, sir." She stuck out her tongue cheekily after she replied. That day, she'd been sent by her mom to the unmanned fruit stand at the top of the hill to buy some summer oranges. As she was coming down the hill with the oranges in a paper bag she brought, the handle of the bag suddenly broke and the oranges rolled out. It's my mom, my mom keeps reusing department store bags because she wants to be eco-friendly. The handle must have been about to break off. Her mom must have been quite frugal. I almost dropped my smartphone too. "Were you walking while messing with your smartphone?" "Yeah." I scolded her, telling her that was far worse. Staring down at a smartphone for long periods can strain your neck and lead to stiff shoulders and headaches. That's a condition called text neck. It's dangerous, so stop using your smartphone while walking. As I told her, she gave me another drawn-out "yes sir" in reply. Her house seemed to be just ahead in the residential area, within walking distance from my clinic, but I felt sorry for her having to walk on that foot. I suggested her to take a taxi. "You should get there within base fare. Do you have money for that?" "I'm fine, I have it." Nodding, I gave her a crutch. As I walked her to the clinic entrance, she kept turning back to smile brightly at me. As I was about to go back inside, I noticed the part-time job notice I taped to the entrance door was starting to peel off. It's been up for over a month now. As I fixed the notice, I wondered if I should use online job postings. Just as I was thinking about this, I found she left behind her oranges. I'll give them to her tomorrow. Then the next day. What's this? A gift? I have a policy of not accepting such things from patients. A woman who came with the girl from yesterday handed me a department store paperback. She had the same face as the girl from yesterday. I thought they might be sisters. Even so, you were so kind to help my daughter yesterday when she was in trouble. It was her mother. She bowed her head and handed the paper back to me again. I caught a glimpse of what was inside. A bottle of imported whiskey. Pretty pricey stuff. That's when the girl interrupted. "Doctor, please, take this." The girl pleaded, clasping her hands in front of her face as if in prayer. I thought, this is going just as planned. Then, clearing my throat, I feigned annoyance as I accepted the paper bag containing a bottle of whiskey. Whiskey, it's been a while. One more thing to look forward to tonight. The mother, even as I was about to start examining the girl, remained rooted to the spot. I told her to wait in the waiting room. This isn't kindergarten, you don't need to babysit. Yes, you're right, I am in the way, aren't I? Her acknowledgement that she was in the way gave me pause, but I handed her the forgotten summer orange, and she took it to the waiting room. The x-rays confirmed that there was nothing wrong with the girl's leg. It would surely be fully healed in 2 or 3 days. Within 10 minutes of the treatment ending, the mother and daughter returned. "Doctor, we wanted to talk to you about the part-time job notice you posted out front." The mother, her demeanor now entirely different, spoke briskly, her eyes shining as she looked at me. "Would you be able to do it?" As I spoke, I couldn't help staring at the mother's face, still convinced they must be sisters. "No, my daughter. Would she be suitable for the job?" Her. This one here. Beside her mother, the girl stuck out her tongue and gave a little bow. "Listen, if that's the case, you should speak for yourself. You're not a child anymore." I scolded the girl, warning the mother not to spoil her too much. That said, I did need a part-time worker. It's reception work, but it's not that difficult once you get used to it. So, I decided to hire the girl. The girl, whom I'll call Emma, began her part-time receptionist job 3 times a week once her foot healed. She was usually quite dependent on her mother when they were together, but when alone, she showed a responsible side and quickly learned the job. Moreover, her vibrant and cheerful smile was well received by both the staff and the patients. However, this also brought some trouble for me. Doctor, let's walk together there." Emma would always wait for my work to finish, and as soon as I left the clinic, she would dart over, crossed her arm with mine. And then, resting her head on my shoulder, she would start skipping along. "That's enough, stop that." "Why? You're too young to be so familiar with men." "Doctor, you're just being shy." I was at a loss. I had taken in quite a naughty girl. A month or so had passed since Emma started her part-time job at my place, when one day, "My daughter, she's always grateful for your help." Emma's mother, Mary, visited the clinic with a smile as radiant as Emma's. Then, she offered a box of sweets, saying, "This is for all of you." I thanked her and accepted it. Then, she handed me a paper bag from a department store, saying, "And this is for you, doctor." Mary looked down shyly. Somehow, her behavior made my heart skip a beat. This is not a gift from a patient, so it should be okay, right? Oh, well, thank you. When I looked into the bag, there was a bottle of high-end whiskey. "Doctor, you do like your drink, don't you?" I'm not averse to it. But the last time I brought you one, you looked somewhat grim, yet the corners of your lips were raised. You looked quite pleased." Mary stuck out her tongue playfully. Even her gesture resembled her daughter, Emma. On my next day off, I had a drink at my usual diner, and for my final meal, I ordered favorite grilled chicken. "Oh, wait a second." I hastily withdrew my order. "I'm not in the mood for a chicken today." I told the owner of the diner so. How about fried rice?" "No, no, no, that's not it either. I've decided on risotto." On my way home, as I began to climb up the hill, a summer orange came rolling down from above. I picked it up and looked up the hill. Emma was there, smiling mischievously. Emma waved her hand and started running down the hill towards me. "Don't fall, be careful." When she got to where I was, she stopped, placed her hands on her knees, and caught her breath. There was a faint sweet scent coming from her. "Doctor, have you been drinking?" I nodded. "What did you eat?" "Well, some side dishes and, for the last dish, risotto." Emmy asked what I would do for dinner. I told her I hadn't decided yet. "In that case, come over to my place, let's eat together." Without waiting for my response, Emma took out her phone and called her mother, Mary. "It's settled, doctor. My mom also wants to treat you to dinner." Call her mother, not my mom. There was still some time left until dinner. I decided to part ways with Emma and headed home. We agreed to meet in front of the clinic at 5 p.m. When I arrived at the clinic at 5, Emma was already there, passing the time on her smartphone, waiting for me. "You should limit your time on that smartphone." Emma shrugged and stuck her tongue out at me cheekily. As we began walking towards her house, she, as usual, looped her arm through mine. I had given up on any futile resistance. "Is your father around?" She replied plainly that she doesn't have father. My mom, she's a single mother, so my father was never in the picture. I regretted asking, sensing I might have asked something I shouldn't have. My mother works the cash register at a large supermarket across the train station. Emma continued, chest swelling with pride. She boasted about how her mother, Mary, was faster and more accurate at the register than any other employee. Not only that, she treated every product with the utmost care. There was no doubt that for Emma, Mary was a mother to be proud of. The place where Emma and Mary lived was an old two-bedroom apartment that had seen many years pass by. "I hope it's okay to drop by so suddenly tonight," I began. "Oh no, it's our pleasure. After all, it was Emma who insisted on bringing you over, wasn't it?" As Mary and I exchanged greetings at the entrance, Emma pushed me from behind into the house. On the modest-sized dining table, there was an array of dishes that Mary had apparently prepared for dinner. Beef and potato stew, Cobb salad, rib steak, and grilled salmon. The food was simple, but it had that classic, comforting taste of home. As Emma guided me to my seat at the table, Mary brought out a can of beer from the refrigerator. "Oh dear, it's still lukewarm, isn't it?" Emma jumped in. "That's what I told you to pick some up from the convenience store on the way here. But buying it from the supermarket where I work is cheaper since I get a staff discount." Soon enough, a playful argument broke out between mother and daughter. For some reason, I ended up playing the mediator. All right, let's settle down. Whether it's cold or lukewarm, beer is still beer, it's perfectly fine." And so, Emma, Mary, and I shared a meal around the dining table. "I don't think we've ever had dinner with a man at home like this, have we?" Emma mused. "But dear, we've had dinner with Tom before, remember?" Mary reminded her. "That was when we were kids. He was just a boy, not a man." She then turned to me and explained that Tom was just an old childhood friend from kindergarten. "Excuse me, I need to use the restroom." "Emma, You don't need to announce that. Mary reprimanded her hastily, and then turned to me, bowed her head. Emma stuck her tongue out at me before scampering off to the restroom. Mary took a sip of her beer, which she claimed she rarely drank, her cheeks turning a shade of pink. You know, the day you helped Emma, she twisted her ankle, and you scolded her. She told me all about it. I'm sorry about that. No, it's okay. She seemed quite happy about it. Happy about being scolded by me. Yes. Mary spoke to me. She's been raising her daughter, Emma, as a single mother, working hard to prevent anyone from blaming her lack of a father. She said Emma turned out to be such a good, obedient girl. But still, just being a mother, I feel like I can't scold her properly. At that moment, Emma returned from the bathroom. Emma, with a carefree air, hugged me from behind. Hey, did you wash your hands properly? At 10:30 in the evening. I left, seen off by Mary and Emma. As I was climbing up the hill towards my house, I started to think. Usually, on my days off, I only thought about going to bed early to prepare for the next day. But that night, the one I spent with Mary and Emma, it felt like a waste to just go to bed. Maybe I should take a walk around before heading home. So, I changed direction and strolled around the night streets, gazing at the blue moon. And I thought. I had once failed at marriage and thought I'd stay single for life. That was me. The next day, on my way home from work, I went to the supermarket where Mary works, which is located on the other side of the station. I found Mary, working briskly, and got drawn to her checkout line. Just as Emma bragged, Mary was a fast worker. Her energetic smile never faded, yet her eyes were serious. I felt like I could watch her forever. That's how I felt. Oh, doctor, I rarely come to this supermarket. Once Mary made sure there were no customers behind me, she placed a "Please use the next register" sign on her counter. From then on the days when Emma had a day off from her part-time job, I would stop by Mary's supermarket after work. Mary adjusted her shift to match the time I showed up and came to meet me at the coffee shop next to the supermarket. Half a year later. You two seem a bit tense, don't you? Emma said to me and Mary, who were posing in front of the camera. It was at a photo studio in town. We didn't have a wedding ceremony. Instead, we decided to take a commemorative photo. Our wedding photo. With the cameraman's cue, the flash went off. The photographer suggested another shot. Hey Emma, you should join us. Let's take a picture with the three of us. Emma nodded energetically with a smile and stepped between me and Mary. We all looked at each other. Our smiles naturally broke out. All right, here goes. Upon the photographer's cue, we all turned our faces towards the camera at once. Our first family photo. It must have turned out beautifully. How did you like it? Your subscription to the channel encourages us to keep producing. See you in the next video.